And good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, April 20th. It's 2:01 p.m. here in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida, which is a little bit rainy right now outside, but it is good to be back with you guys. Before I get into today's show, I just want to drop a little nugget because this is something that has been sort of nagging at me, been kind of a pain in the ass, frankly, for a couple of years. Cost me about $1,500 in paperwork. But you know what? Every now and then, sometimes the good guys win. Yeah, that would be me. That would be David Nino Rodriguez, Scott McKay, and several other social media influencers who were ridiculously assailed by some insane woman claiming, I don't even want to give her name any airtime because she's ridiculous. But I will show you some images of her because why not? Because why not? Because frankly, she deserves to have her name blasted, but her name will not pass my lips because she's just frankly disgusting. Let's take a look at this lady right here. This lady right here. Read it and weep because this woman filed fraudulent UCC1 liens against myself and others. And about 2.5 years ago, I had to start. I started on this journey with a wonderful woman named Anne LaFleur, who's going to be a guest on my show in a few weeks. But she coached me through how to deal with this because, frankly, a UCC1 lien is a Universal Commercial Code contractor's lien that if I have a roofer putting a roof on and I don't pay, he'll lien my house. So if I go to sell my house, he gets paid. She claimed I copyrighted her name, which I've never even said her name publicly anywhere for no copyright violation, but you can't do that. And she filed this fraudulent UCC1 lien. In fact, according to Florida statute 713.31, any person who willfully files a fraudulent lien commits a felony of the third degree. So she has now gotten her comeuppance because she's gotten 10 years of prison time for this, and she's been in prison now for quite some time. The paperwork that I filed went to attorney generals in several states. She had outstanding warrants in a couple of states. It went to sheriffs in all of these states. It went to the governors, lieutenant governors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it went everywhere. And eventually it caught up with her. So the next time you find yourselves getting harassed by idiots out there that don't know the law, but claim that they do, and they create a following. I mean, if you read up on this woman, you'll find out she's really she's something special. That's for sure. She is something special. So I'm glad to say that she's now behind bars, and I'll be talking about that with Scott McKay tonight on his show. I believe we're also going to have the Florida gubernatorial candidate for the Republican nomination, Paul Renner, on with us this evening, and we're going to talk about something far more important because, frankly, that's what we need to be talking about, how we're going to fix our country. But frankly, I will mention this to the candidate, to Paul Renner, because no state through their Department of State should be able to allow somebody to file a fraudulent lien against you without any contract or paperwork. There is nothing between me and this crazy wretch. But whatever, it's over, it's done. And yes, the good guys won. All right, we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence today, the Endgame, because we're actually watching something unfold in real time that most people don't even fully understand. But you know what? You guys feel it. We're all using it. I use Chat. I use Claude. I use Grok. I use a number of them. I'll fact check Google, and I'll do a lot to sort of reference each other to see, am I finding the actual truth? It's great for digging in certain areas, which is fantastic. It's great when I'm looking up, codes and statutes. I use it all the time because it's a lot faster than Google and it's easier to sort the information. But artificial intelligence isn't something that I think at this point is some like long, far away, distant idea. No, it's really here, and it's integrated into every layer of our society, into our communications, into our economies, our information systems, even how truth itself is basically designed, defined, and distributed, right? Because what I'm seeing when I'm looking into AI is it's starting to morph the facts to slant in a direction that is more meaningful and powerful to me. So is that really helpful? Am I really getting the truth? So I think, what should concern every single one of you right now is the speed. And when I talk about the speed, I'm talking about the speed of which they're popping up these AI data centers. So here in Florida, we're battling this. We've got 4, 2 that are sort of at bay, but 2 that they're hot and heavy into. And Byron Donalds, by the way, if you live in Florida, do not vote for that heathen. There's so much coming out about him, including the fact that he wants these AI data centers on every corner like a Starbucks. But this is something that's being, very powerful. It's being pushed very fast. And you have to ask yourself why. Who's driving this? Who benefits? And more importantly, what are they building that requires this level of urgency? I mean, didn't we have a cloud that sort of perfecting all this information for us already. Now, why do we have to have these big buildings everywhere? We've seen this sort of pattern before, right? Crisis, cough, cough, COVID, some sort of acceleration. There's mass public confusion about this. And then these permanent systems are put in place before people even realize what's happened. But this time it seems a little bit different. This time we're talking about technology that just doesn't influence behavior. It can shape perception, control access to information, and potentially replace human decision making altogether. So today we're not just going to talk about AI as a tool. We're going to talk about the end game. Joining me is someone who I've had on the show many times. He's been on the front lines of this battle over information censorship, building parallel systems outside of big tech control. Jeff Dornik is a conservative media personality. He's the host of the Jeff Dornik Show and Unsanctioned, and the CEO of PickAx, a social media platform, which if you're not on, get on, because he has focused PickAx on creating a space for real free speech and real uncensored dialogue. He's not just talking about problems, he's actually building these solutions and alternatives. Jeff, welcome to Steel News. Welcome to my show. It is great to have you on. And I'm so glad that we're here having this conversation, because they're trying to put 2 AI data centers literally within 10 miles of my house right now.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they're doing this everywhere across the country, and there's this race to dominate in the AI space. And the thing that they don't tell you is that whoever wins the race basically rules the world. And really, when you think about how crazy this is, like a lot of people are like, come on, it's inevitable. AI is coming. We just have to accept it and just go along with it. But I'm like, have you mapped out where this is going? Because when you think about it, and we can dive into the details and all of this, but the way that I look at it is that there's a race for artificial intelligence and the development of that. There's a race for developing quantum computing. When you
Right.
combine quantum computing with artificial intelligence, it basically becomes self-learning, and whoever achieves that first will basically rule the world, because nobody else will ever be able to catch up. And so right now what we're looking at is we've got several US based companies basically in a race against the CCP in China, and whoever reaches that ultimate goal first of combining quantum computing with artificial intelligence technology, basically, like, nobody will ever be able to have anything encrypted. There'll be no more secrets. They'll have access to all nuclear, information and codes, and like there will be like whoever achieves this first dominates the world basically until the end of time. And that I think people haven't really mapped out and aren't really considering how fast this is going. It's kind of mutually assured destruction.
So when you look, that's that's pretty heavy there. What you just said, mutually assured destruction. Because when you look at the rapid expansion of AI right now, what is the real end game? I mean, is it mutually assured destruction? Is it important that we beat China in this artificial intelligence revolution? Is this about innovation? Is it about efficiency? I mean, or is it just really singularity? They really want total centralized control, and it's going to be, well, is it going to be the good guys or the CCP? I mean, who are the good guys at this point? Because from where I'm sitting, I'm not even sure the United States government are the good guys at this point. Where are we going with this singularity?
I don't think there are any good guys in this race at all. And this is the thing. What you have to look at is you have to look at what's the worldview of the guys that are developing this technology. We understand the worldview of the CCP and China. Like for them, it's ultimate control, ultimate power, and I think that their goal with artificial intelligence again is world domination. They want to replace the United States of America as the world superpower, and they're doing it with AI. And in all reality, they may actually beat us in this AI race because they're willing to throw anything and everything that they can at it without restriction. On the flip
Well,
side, go ahead.
no, because I hear what you're saying on this race, but I mean, our government is, quickly feeling the pace that feels very unprecedented. And from where I'm sitting, I'm wondering, are they really worried about being number one in the AI race? Are they more concerned about getting this system in, this digital Palantir prison in place before the public wakes up and can push back in any sort of meaningful way?
Well, there is that for sure, but also at the same time, it's who is going to be in charge, who is going to be in control, and I think
Hmm.
that the concern that I have is that if we win this AI race against China, and they're using this race against China again as the excuse to centralize the power and centralize databases and all that kind of stuff, but if we win the race, it's not going to be the United States government that's in control. It's going to be the tech companies that are in control. Whichever tech company achieves this first will be the ones that are in control. And I think that you listen to guys like Sam Altman, you listen to guys like Bill Gates and Elon Musk. What are they all saying? They're all pushing this future where there's no more humans in the workforce at all. AI and robots will literally do everything. They pitch us on this hedonistic lifestyle as if that's heaven on earth. We're going to live on universal basic income. But when you look at the actual ramifications of that, what does that mean? They're implementing communism. That's the end game of what they're implementing. And this isn't just me being tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast the last time, and he
Right.
literally said his own words that I am using capitalism in order to usher in a communist utopia. And the reason why communism always failed was a lack of resources. But with my Optimus robots and artificial intelligence, we won't have a lack of resources. We'll never run out of anything. We'll have a surplus. And thus, we can finally implement a communist utopia. And nobody bats an eye.
So I'm trying to find this post right now. There was a post I got. In fact, I can't, unfortunately, because the timer on my Signal chat that I get I got this in is now past the expiration date, so it be gone. But somebody put a post up yesterday. You might have seen it. It was a real long rant about how great artificial intelligence is, and that going into singularity is really where it's at. I mean, it made this bizarre dystopian case for how there's not going to be money anymore. It's sort of like Star Trek in a way. Like we've jumped into Star Trek, the next generation, where you never see them talk about money. They push a button, food appears. Their entire mission is to better humanity. And I don't know if we can go from where we are today to jump into that complete mindset, because look who's running the world. The most hedonistic elitists out there that are mass consumed with just hoarding as much money as possible. Billions and billions. When is enough for these people? But yet they're the ones that are pushing this artificial intelligence on us with I think, trying to sell us on the fact that we can get to this sort of utopian society where money doesn't matter, but it's coming from the people where money matters most. So I can't quite understand where where this begins and where this ends, and who's really going to ultimately win this race, and what is this race? What do we win when we win the race?
Right. Well, the reality of it is that money, in the way that we understand money, it may not matter at that point. But what will
Mm,
matter is power and control, and who
right.
has the power. And it's going to be centralized into this very small elitist group of people that will control everything. And then the rest of us, like the World Economic Forum said, will own nothing, and we'll be happy. And Elon went on, had a conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu. I think it was 2022. It was right before what happened on October 7th. So it was pre all the craziness that happened. And they were talking about the end game of AI. And Netanyahu literally asked him, what is the end game? And Elon Musk gave two scenarios. He said it's either going to, in his words, it's either going to be Terminator, where the robots dominate us and we become either subservient or we're in a constant battle against them and all that. Or the scenario that he's trying to implement would be what he described as heaven on earth. And heaven on earth is as he described, was basically the movie Wall-E that Pixar put out, which is basically we'll be connected to the internet. We'll just think about things and it'll come to fruition. It'll be a hedonistic lifestyle. Nobody has to work. You can just lounge around. You can do whatever you want. And the robots and AI will do anything and everything for you. And I'm like, that is not heaven. That's like hell on earth. Like you take
Yeah.
away people's purpose. And also when you think about it as well, you have to look at what's the foundational worldview of guys like Elon Musk and Sam Altman and Bill Gates and Larry Ellison. And you just go down the list of all these Silicon Valley guys that are developing this technology. It's not the worldview of our founding fathers of this country, which is that God created each of us with individual sovereignty and individual
Right.
rights, and that we have value as individuals because we're created in the image of God. Most of them deny the existence of God. Some of them will give lip service to the idea that God might exist, but their worldview is very anti-God and anti-individual liberty and anti-individual rights. And so what they're looking at is the communal experience. How can we have a communal intelligence that kind of incorporates everybody? It's this very socialist, communist utopia worldview. And when you're sitting here thinking, you're like, okay, cool. So from an economic standpoint, maybe we don't run out of resources. What's that going to do to people's psychology? Like people are already on psych meds to the nth degree right now. What's it going to do when you take away everybody's purpose? Are we going to have mass suicides? Are we going to have mass, psychological drugs, psychiatric drugs that everybody's going to be on? Are we going to be seeing depression? Because I mean, when you look at these major cities like Los Angeles, New York, DC, Seattle, what's the biggest thing? It is a lack of purpose in a lot of these places, because that is the woke leftist progressive worldview. There's a lack of purpose. Why? Because there's no value. You don't have individual value, be it by being created in the image of God by these people. What they believe is that you're just, the natural result of evolutionary biology, that you come from pond scum. You don't actually, have any intrinsic value in and of yourself. And it's a very kind of situational ethics, outlook on life and worldview. And you're just sitting here and you're like, so I'm supposed to trust these people to develop
Mhm.
artificial intelligence that will benefit humanity, but what they're pitching us is the end of humanity as we know it. Like if you
Right.
don't own anything, how can you truly be free? Like if you're reliant upon these people, how can you truly be free? And they're actually also pitching universal basic income, not coming from the government, but coming from these private companies, which is even
Right.
scarier because they don't have a constitutional responsibility to protect your free speech rights. So you're just sitting here, you're like, this is not a good end game at all.
No, it's really not, and you've made a very compelling argument. I hate to break it to you though, but at this point, Jeff, we're still not running under the Constitution. We're using public-private partnerships, and these agents of government like Facebook and Palantir. These are agents of government agencies, and that's really because they have a public-private partnership, so the government can get around and circumvent the Constitution using these corporations to do just that, to censor us and to basically strip away our purpose. So when looking at trying to reclaim purpose in an AI age, I just happen to look this up. I'm going to put this up on the screen here so that everybody can see it as well. Is it going to come up? There we go. Boy, sometimes StreamYard is just a wee bit slow. But as I'm looking at this, it's that it's saying basically what you're saying. AI has evolved faster than humans can adapt, right? And we lose that sense of purpose, universal basic purpose. All the obvious things: workforce replacement, existential nihilism, loss of humics, the unique human elements, true creativity, social authenticity, and personal growth are threatened when we stop engaging in the difficult process of creation and we rely on AI output. Evolutionary misalignment: humans evolved to work for survival and community. Removing the need for human labor cuts off from this deeply ingrained purpose. So when you move forward towards how do you reclaim your purpose in an AI age, it talks about focusing on humics, redefining work to emphasize skills AI cannot easily replace, such as complex interpersonal interaction, empathy, and high-level strategy. So who does that leave? If you just take this right here, who does that leave in terms of a workforce?
I mean, I don't know. And at a certain point, like I guarantee you, AI is going to be coming for those jobs too. Like
Right,
literally, what these guys are saying is that the end game is that robots and AI will do everything. Like to me, like those kinds of things would be like counselors and psychologists, but they're already developing AI to do all that kind of stuff as well. And
right,
so it to me. The really big thing that we're looking at in the implementation of all of this and the net result of all of this is that we're becoming more divided. We're not having those face-to-face human connections like we used to have. We're being
right.
taught, let's live in this digital world. I mean, Meta is developing their own metaverse, very much like the Matrix.
Yep.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg as well. Like one of the things that they're developing, they spent like $65 billion in developing artificial intelligence for the future. But specifically, one of their goals is to replace human content creators with AI generated content creators, because then number one, they can continue to claim to be a free speech platform because they don't have to censor AI that they created and that they control. It'll be better for advertisers. They're trying to train us to be consumers, not creators. And
Right.
when you think at the net result of the development of AI, what are we doing? We are foregoing our individual creativity, our own original ideas and thoughts, and we're passing them on to AI. I mean, just look, for example, like you had that search result up, right? And what were
Mhm.
you looking at? You were looking at the
Yeah.
AI generated response. You're not
Yep.
looking like it used to be. You go to Google and you see a list of different blogs and articles and websites listing, and you look at, I don't recognize that. Oh, that's a name that I know and I trust. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to go over there and see what their perspective is. And then you can go back and you can look at a few others. But what's AI doing? AI is looking at the aggregate information of all the search results that are in there, and then giving you its biased result of the information. And then what's that doing? It's cutting out your reliance upon human ideas and human
Right.
perspective. And then now what are you doing? You're trusting the ultimate expert. And what did we all fight against COVID, which was this idea and this narrative that we're supposed to trust the experts. What's the next step in that? The next step isn't just trust Anthony Fauci. The next step is trust artificial intelligence, which can be, in their words, the neutral arbiter of truth. I mean, even Joe Rogan is out there pitching the idea that eventually we should just have an AI generated president of the United States that could be neutral, not going to have human biases. And you're just like, is this really where these guys think that we should be going? What about the human element? Because there's something very, very interesting. Like, you and I have met in person multiple times, right?
Right.
At different events and things like. There's something about making a connection with somebody face to face.
That's right.
No screen. There's a human thing that I think is God created, and I don't know what scientifically that would be, but there's something about meeting something in person where now you have this connection of, like, you feel like you know that person in a different
Right.
way than just meeting people on a screen. And I think that what's happening is we're all being divided, and I think that this is obviously this is leading to a lot of the inflamed rhetoric. It's leading a lot to the hatred, the extremism, people going to the extremes on all sides of political aisles, all different positions. Because what? Because we're not actually connecting with other people. Like, and I think that's the end game here as well. Divide and conquer. That's really what they're doing here.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because I'm looking at I don't know what gen this would be, the generation of the 15, 16, what's the next generation now after Z? Is it Z?
I couldn't even tell you. Maybe
I've lost track. The young kids today, the teenagers today, you know what they don't want to take with them anymore? They really
Yep.
don't want these things anymore. You know why? Because this is mom's track and trace. Mom knows where you are. And if you say you go to little Johnny's house and you're over at little Jimmy's house doing something you shouldn't be, mom knows. And they don't want to be tracked and traced. And so I see the younger generation trying to get away from this. I'm seeing in my own neighborhood more kids that are 10, 12, 15 outside playing now. I haven't seen that since COVID, since before COVID. It's been 10 years almost, right? Since I saw kids playing outside. So it's really kind of interesting to see sort of the shift. So I'm wondering if the more they push this on us, Jeff, the more the youth is going to rebel because they understand the implications and they've now trying to figure out workarounds. How do I get away from it? Because it's the track and trace. They may not understand Palantir. They don't understand the politics, but they know what it means to them personally. You and I can sit here and go, wow, we see what this means from this level up here. We see the policies, the procedures, the people that are in the White House, et cetera. But the kids today, so I'm wondering if there's going to be some sort of a shakeout in the end with the generation coming up is going to do a big pushback on this.
Honestly, I hope so, and I've been seeing a lot of that same trend in a lot of people that I know that are younger, where it's like they it takes them 5 days to return a text message because they barely check their text messages and emails and all that, and on one hand, it can be frustrating for a lot of people because you're like, dude, just text me, like, it's fine. But also on the flip side, it's like it's kind of nice and refreshing that people these kids are not addicted to their phones like the
Right.
generation before them. It was interesting in church yesterday. My pastor made a comment that the Bible always talks about point your eyes up to heaven, and what is technology forcing us to do is to look down. And he's like it's crazy how technology is always pushing us away from what the Bible says that we should do, even something as simple and basic as that. And I think for me too, this is also one of those things that's been a really big driving force in my development of PickAx, as well as like, how do we bring back this human connection? And one of the things that I'm trying to do is like, let's schedule some in-person events. Like this summer, we're going to be doing a big concert on the beach with Switchfoot down. It's like, let's unify together, like, and actually make human connection. And in a way that these social media platforms right now, they're all dividing us, and AI is dividing us and keeping us separate from each other. And I think
Yeah.
that's so important, because we're missing out what it means to be human. I remember it was last year. I had a conversation with Nicole Shanahan about this very idea of how AI is going to dominate everything, and we're like, we need to start focusing on how do we create these human-centered spaces in alternative parallel economies where we can go about and live in the future of this AI dominated world that we're being kind of checked out from the AI system. But in order to do that, we need to start focusing on it right now. And I think that one of the big things that I think that people can really be inspired by, I guess, and have hope, is that the AI dominated governments and companies and all of that, they only win if we comply. When you think about it, and I think the evidence of that is that they're constantly having to push propaganda and lies and manipulate us because they need our buy-in, because they know they can't control however many billions of people are on this planet. They can't control even the 350 million people that are in this country without our buy-in and our being complicit in everything. And so what do? They push propaganda, they push lies in order for us to just believe that, oh, this is just the inevitable. We can't do anything about it. We just put our hands up and we just go along with it. Well, what if all of a sudden we're like, let's just stop playing this game. Let's stop playing in this AI system. Let's actually focus on human connection. Let's be human beings. Let's not go
Mhm.
along with this technology of that really could lead to the antichrist when you're looking at eschatology and all that kind of stuff. Let's stop playing this game. Let's focus on how do we build community? How do we build real relationships, real friendships? I mean, there's a trend now where people are getting into relationships and wanting to marry AI bots because the AI bots know them better than yourself, really. And these AI bots are the biggest suck ups ever. I got to tell you,
Make asylums great again. Make insane asylums great again. If you're
exactly.
marrying your blow up doll, your AI bot, whatever it is, your broom, I don't care what it is, but people are marrying strange things, and to me, that's the level of insanity that needs to somehow be addressed. And perhaps it is through the human intervention as well as interaction. You are, speaking of meeting humans and talking to humans, you're doing something pretty cool. Make California healthy again. The Maha movement sadly seems to have sort of gone off the rails a little bit.
Yep.
Robert Kennedy, Bobby Jr., is Secretary of Health and Human Services. Excuse me, I should give him the proper title. Has started the podcast. I'm just curious, since you mentioned Nicole Shanahan, is she in contact with him? Is she supporting his podcast, or is she just kind of thrown her hands up in disgust and walked away and tried to do her own thing?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not sure today. I know that I think that she was hopeful back when I had multiple conversations with her that
Mm-hmm.
things would be better, but she's definitely been trending away and been quite critical, I think, of
I think
Bobby and
so.
HHS and all of that. And the nice thing, so we're having this town hall. It's actually gonna be later today at 3 o'clock Pacific time, and we'll be streaming it on PickAx and Rumble. OAN's gonna be simulcasting it, and which is
Great.
phenomenal. But the nice thing, I partnered with the We the People team, which is basically the former Kennedy campaign that was out here in California, and we put this together, and we were very intentional about looking at what are the questions that real people want answered from these candidates that are running for governor out here in California. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're not pulling any punches, and we're willing to go where even Bobby and some of these other Maha influencers aren't willing to go. So we're going to be talking about geoengineering and weather manipulation and the health ramifications of that. We're going to be talking about vaccine mandates and how the state of California has been targeting pediatricians in the state of California in basically punishing them and threatening to take away their medical license for writing vaccine exemptions. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
be talking about regenerative farming. We're going to be talking about a lot of these different things that and even the pesticides and glyphosate and all of that the Trump administration is now fast tracking and all of that. We're going to be talking about all those things because
Mm-hmm.
it's so important that these guys are on the record when it comes to these issues, and don't shy away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think these are real life issues that especially young parents like myself, like we've got a almost 4-year-old son now, right? Like we
Right.
can't send him to school because we're not going to get him vaxxed. But then you're also facing, okay, is CPS going to deal with stuff? Our pediatrician is being threatened by the state of California to pull his medical license because he wrote one too many vaccine exemptions. He doesn't vaccinate any of the kids that come in, which again makes him a target. And so like these are real life questions, and I can't tell you how many parents reach out to me every single month, especially right around the beginning of school.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Because I don't want to vaccinate my kids, but it's the only way that I can send them to daycare. It's the only way that I can send them to school. And if I don't, like they're actually digitizing everything now to where it used to be
Yeah.
that some parents, and again, I'm not encouraging illegal activity, but some parents they'd get a fake vaccine card, right? Okay, fine, but now they're digitizing everything to where you can't even get away with that now. And you're just sitting here and you're just looking at this and you're like, okay, this has
They're
gone bonkers. Who are these guys beholden to? Are they beholden to big pharma and the pharmaceutical industry, or are they beholden to the people of the state of California? So we're going to be asking a lot of those questions, and it's going to be really interesting to see, especially Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, who are kind of the front runners out here in California. What are they going to go full Maha, or are they not?
Well, if I had my druthers, I would lean into Steve Hilton, mostly because Chad Bianco really pulled a number on Van Miller a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. Do you remember that
No,
whole fiasco?
Them and I are very good friends, so we've talked quite a bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just really quite revolting what he did to try and make a name for himself. And it's anyway, politics is disgusting. What can we say? It's like making sausage, baby. You're going to get your hands
Yep.
dirty.
Yep.
I'm going to be very cautiously optimistic for California. I mean, you guys are going up against a Goliath. Newscomb is, well, we don't. What need we say anymore? His wife, I think, is his biggest liability. Hopefully, she keeps talking because she looks like a complete lunatic.
Yeah.
A complete lunatic. All right, let's talk about PickAx. This is your platform. You're the CEO and the founder of this incredible social media company. Talk to us about, again, I want my audience to understand what was the inspiration other than we need free speech and stop getting censored. We're all still getting censored on X. We're losing followers. We're battling with trolls. It never ends over there. And we have to support platforms like PickAx where you do get free speech, where you aren't censored. But this has been a big, heavy lift, and it seems that you've done this almost on your own, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've got a phenomenal, dev team that I've worked with, to build this out. My CTO is phenomenal. She used to work at, Facebook and Instagram, and so she's seen the other side of social media and how the big tech platforms work and all that kind of stuff. But really, it started out as, okay, how could we create a free speech platform the way that I wish that free speech platforms would be? And then as time went on, and I began seeing how Elon Musk, has a policy in his terms of service saying that you have freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, which means that they'll let you say what you want, but that doesn't mean that they have to let anybody actually see it. I was like,
Right.
well, that's technically not free speech. That's, if you go back to what the founding fathers said, it was without limitation. And so when you actually look at the wording of the First Amendment, it's like, well, can you claim to be a free speech platform if you artificially limit people's reach? I would argue no. So what we ended up building out with PickAx is this idea of an algorithmically free social media platform. So we actually don't implement any AI or computer generated algorithms. And so in fact, you as the user are the algorithm. And so what ends up happening is algorithmically we don't input social media platforms. We actually don't implement AI or new content into the platform. You as the user are the algorithm. People that you don't follow. So what ends up happening is if we don't input your on AI and that will content into your newsfeed along with your comment. That can be the one that goes to follow your content and use all these things. It's a very organic way of on as opposed to AI relying on that AI that's stalking you and tracking you and seeing what you're interested in and all that. And so on the flip side as well, one of the things we're really on as opposed to is helping that AI beings to human beings. We're rolling out an email newsletter feature very similar to Substack here in the next couple of months. We're beta testing that right now. So I've completely left Substack and now I am exclusively on PickAx now as well for my email newsletter. And so we're going to be rolling that out here.
Did you import your emails from Substack? Did you import your email? Did you import your email database from Substack?
Yep. Yeah. So you'd be able to download your email list from Substack. You'd be able to upload it into PickAx. And then we're working on being able to actually import your previous articles and newsletters and stuff from Substack into PickAx as well. So then you'd have your backlog as well. So we're working on that as well, because a lot of people have been experiencing like the shadow bans and the manipulative algorithms and then being categorized in particular categories to push them off to the side. And so we're like, well, let's just bring it back. So the whole idea here, though, is how do we help you connect with your audience more effectively and more efficiently? So if somebody says that they follow you, they're telling me as the platform, I want to see this person's content. Whereas if you're on X or you're on Facebook or any of these other platforms, what the platforms are saying is we are going to override your decision to follow this person because we think we know what kind of content you should be seeing, and it may or may not be the people that you follow. So we don't want to violate that trust. We don't want to get in between you and your audience. And so everything that we're doing is how do we connect people with people that they actually want to follow and connect with. And so we'll have the email newsletter feature coming out soon. We're going to be implementing short videos, so kind of like Rumble Shorts, Instagram Reels, that kind of thing. That'll be coming out very, very soon as well. And we're just going to be developing more and more features to help connect people to people more effectively and short videos. So kind of like
That's
Rumble
just
Shorts,
incredible.
Instagram
Can we
Reels, that
walk
kind of thing.
through
That'll be coming
perhaps showing
out very,
folks
very
just a
soon
little
as
bit
well.
about it? I mean, we'll push
And
a
we're
couple
just
buttons together. In fact, if you want to share the screen, I'll let you drive. I think people really need to become more familiar with the social media
yeah, for sure.
Because right now you can see on my PickAx. Can we walk through perhaps showing folks just a little bit about it? Anybody to watch? A couple buttons together. In fact, if you want to share the screen, I'll let you drive. I think people really need to become more familiar with the social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Because right now you can see on my PickAx. Can we walk through perhaps showing folks just a little bit about it? Anybody to watch? A couple buttons together. In fact, you want to share the screen, I'll let you drive. I think people really need to become more familiar with the social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Because right now you can see on my PickAx.
Okay, are you able to see that on the screen now?
Let me come back. Let me take this out. Okay.
Okay, perfect. There. So this is like basically what
Thank you,
PickAx
Mr. Wonderful. By the way, I see your comment, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you. I'll look at that. I don't know. I didn't hear it. Did you hear an audio loop or something, Jeff?
Yeah, I think it was the video was playing inside the screen that you were sharing, and so it was just kind of looping through. Yeah.
You know what? I hit mute up here, but I forgot you got to mute it in the video. My bad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. Okay.
So when you're looking at here, so this is your basic feed on here, very similar to like what you would see on all the rest of the platforms, very typical social media, feed kind of a thing. But again, so the way that we set this up is that it's chronological. And so, it's going to be showing in order of when things are posted, but if there's a comment or engagement or things like that, it'll get bumped back up to the top or organically. So then that way, that would be the most likely thing that you're seeing. So you're either seeing the most recent thing of something that's posted by somebody that you follow, or something that of somebody that you follow that where there's engagement or conversations happening and things like that. So that would be that's the way that your news feed looks like. You have your feed. You've got an articles feed where you'd be able to see all the recent articles that are posted by people that you specifically follow. You'll have a video feed, and what we've done with video right now is that we integrate with Rumble. And so if you post a link to a Rumble video and you post it on PickAx, it'll auto-populate the player in the newsfeed, both on the web and the app, to where it's playable in the newsfeed as if native to the platform. We're going to replace that with our own version of Shorts here very soon, to where your video feed will be all of the shorts that you actually upload directly to PickAx, and we'll be rolling that out here in the next month or two. So that feed will be specifically that. So that'll be very similar to like an Instagram Reel, Rumble Shorts, YouTube Shorts, that kind of thing. So that'll be coming here very, very soon. You can also subscribe to your favorite content creators that are on the platform. If you do subscribe, you can either be a free subscriber, and eventually what that will be is that you're basically subscribing to their email list. Very, again, similar to Substack, where you start getting their articles emailed to you. It'll also show up in your newsfeed that way. But then also, if you become a paid subscriber, then you would have access to all those articles that are from your paid subscriptions will be showing up in this feed. We've got a trending tab. Right now, again, you see the trending posts, the trending articles, trending videos. That's just showing what's most relevant on the platform right now at that moment. We're going to eventually be breaking that down by category. And so actually, when you sign up today on the platform, you can actually go in, either in the sign up process, or if you already have an account, go over to your profile page, and you can select up to 2 categories of what kind of content your content fits into. And then we're going to begin to break down the trending tab based upon those categories. And then you'll eventually be able to adjust those categories as well for each individual specific post. So that'll be coming soon.
That's really cool.
Yeah, well, so that's cool, but then also we already have this implemented where you can see the top users that are on the platform, and this is based on the number of followers, engagement, views, all that kind of stuff, and then you can break it down based on which category within the platform. So then you can see, okay, here's the top accounts that are on PickAx right now. It's ranked based on the category as well as their overall ranking as well. So you can kind of gamify it a little bit, see where you are, throwing a little bit of old school MySpace days into it with how we're implementing this.
MySpace, that's a blast from the past, Jeff.
I know. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to implement your top 8. So I want to do that, kind of bring back the old school MySpace stuff, because again, that was back when it was actually social media was actually social. You were actually connecting with people and you were talking to your friends, and I think that's the fun thing about what we're seeing with PickAx right now is that it's not just a bunch of like inflammatory rhetoric of what you see on like people like the top people that are on here. So like if you look at these accounts right here, these are the
Yeah.
people that are they're engaging with each other, interacting with each other. There's and I think out of all of these, probably Diamond and Silk are probably the only ones that are like exclusively politics, which is nice. So people are posting, their recipes. They're posting about the events that they go to. They're posting about, like this is my Tuesday afternoon. It's
Right.
becoming a little bit more social, and you're actually connecting with people and building relationships.
Right.
So
It's not a keyboard rage fest.
exactly, exactly. And again, there's still politics. One of my favorite people that's on there right now is Ted Rall, who's a leftist political cartoonist. I have him on my show all the time. I love picking his brain. He's a self-described Marxist, but also I love having conversations with him because we can disagree and we can engage with our opposing viewpoints. And so we're bringing in a wide variety of people from all different political stripes, different industries, different
It's so cool.
genres, all that kind of stuff, which is pretty fun. So some of the other cool things as well. So like here on the top right hand side, you've got the top articles right now that are trending for just among the people that you follow. So it'll make it a lot
Yeah.
easier for you to keep track of all that kind of stuff. We also again, this is the sneak peek on the newsletters component. So you're actually going to be able to, when you come in here and you write an article in here, you come up here and post publish. There'll be a pop-up window that'll say, do you want to post this as an article, you want to send this as an email newsletter, or both? And then you can also select whether you're going to send that to free subscribers, to everybody, or paid subscribers. So you have complete control
Wow.
over that. You'll be able to download your CSV file of email lists from Substack or wherever you have your email list. You can import it over here. You can distribute it that way. If you post a Rumble video, a Spotify,
So
podcast.
if I email it, Jeff, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if I email it to somebody from Substack who's not on PickAx, what does that interface look like for them when they receive it? What do they have to do?
So if you do that, they'll get your email, the same that they would have gotten on Substack, but it'll just come through PickAx. It'll say this is from Ann Vandersteel. The subject line will be your title, all that kind of stuff. If they click on the title or the article from the email, it'll take them to PickAx, so they'd be able to see the article directly on PickAx. They want to follow you on
They
PickAx,
don't
you
have to
can.
have a PickAx account?
No. So anybody can read articles on PickAx, whether or not they have a PickAx account. So that's
Oh,
one of the nice things about building an email list, is that for some people, they just want to follow you. They may or may not have an account on PickAx, and that's fine. They can
yeah.
actually, if they are reading your article and they're not logged into a PickAx account, they can actually input their email address into subscribing to you directly on PickAx. If they're already logged in, then they just click a button, subscribe, and then they can subscribe that way as well. But it's gonna be a really cool game feature, really cool feature that we're implementing. But I think also one of the nice things, like, we're gonna be the only platform that's truly a social media platform that's also integrating this email newsletter
Yeah,
feature, to where it's actually fully integrated into the platform. And so I
that's
think that
cool.
that's gonna be really cool. And also, again, you if one of the things that I'm having a lot of the Rumble gamers, because we got a lot of gamers that have come over to PickAx because of our Rumble integration. Like, they're using the email newsletter in order to promote their live streams later that day, because there's no other social media where Rumble live streamers can actually promote their Rumble videos without getting penalized in the algorithms. Because if you post an outbound link, let's say on X or Facebook, to Rumble, you actually get penalized in the algorithms. And so
That's
with
right.
PickAx, they're coming over because it's playable in the newsfeed. They can actually post an article or send it as an email newsletter to their subscribers with the actual Rumble video in the article itself, and say, hey, tune into my live stream. I'm going to be live tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. And then they send it out. Now it's easy promotion for them to promote their live streams, and we're seeing an increased number in monetized views on Rumble from our PickAx live streamers, which is really cool.
That's incredible. That is so cool. I know it's just kind of a nightmare if you people have now gotten to the point where they're writing their URL out and they're putting .com because they don't want to get penalized just for putting a hyperlink in there. Glad people
Totally.
can figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think one of the other things too that we've got is, like, we've got our creator dashboard over here as well. So if you are a content creator and you have like a Rumble show, or you write articles, or anything like that, then
Right.
what you can actually do is you can actually apply to be a content creator, and then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to offer paid subscriptions here. You'll be able to have advertising, generate advertising revenue from a combination of affiliate advertisers that we partner with, as
Hmm.
well as we're rolling out a rev share model as well, to where we're going to take 40% of our advertising revenue. We're going to divvy it up amongst our content creators based upon their engagement and their views, and a wide variety of analytics. So it's very difficult to game the system. And also, one of the things that we've got as well, we have a settings, over here in the creator dashboard in settings. You can adjust your email subscription blurb, so that way, if people are reading your article, you can customize the pitch that you give to people in order to subscribe to you. But you'll also be able to input an RSS feed that will auto post, if you have a blog,
Yep.
or a Substack. You could actually put in the RSS feed. It'll auto post your article in real time on PickAx, along with like the first sentence, or you'll pull in the metadata and all that kind of stuff. Makes it a lot easier for bloggers, or news outlets, or things like that, to come over as well. And then we're working with the Rumble team right now to integrate the Rumble auto posting. They're developing an API for us as well, so you'd be able to put in your Rumble channel and then auto post in real time to PickAx here
So in
very
other words, if
soon.
it has my Rumble channel, I go live, it automatically goes live on PickAx.
Yep, yep. So
That's
so yeah,
freaking awesome. That
yeah,
would be a huge, I mean, that would be a big bonus for Rumble, to be honest, because Rumble, of all the places when you stream, it's difficult. You can't just, like, YouTube is static. You can just send it and it updates the graphic, whatever. But on Rumble, you've got to go in and touch everything. It's really painful. It's
totally, totally.
painful.
Yeah. So for me, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, okay, so me, as somebody who's been writing articles for a long time and hosting a show and doing all, it's like, what do I want in a social
Right.
media platform? And that's kind of what we've built out, and that's what we're continuing to build
Incredible.
out. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And now it's literally just, let's get as many people as we can on there. And I think the key as well is that creating a really cool community of people, that are on the platform. And one of the things one of the constant feedbacks that I'm getting from people is that I have like 100th of the audience on PickAx than I do on X, but I'm getting like 10 times as much engagement and conversations and things like that happening on
Mm.
PickAx, specifically because you're living in an algorithmically free social media space, to where the people that are seeing your content are the people that follow you. Those are going to be the most likely people that actually want to engage with your content. It's not some AI that's coming in and deciding, we think that this person should see your content, that has
Yeah.
no relationship with you. They don't follow you. And then all of a sudden, then it artificially limits you in the algorithms, because guess what? None of those people engaged with your post. It's like, well, of course, because they don't follow me. You showed people that don't follow me my content. Of course, they're not going to engage with it. You come over
Yeah.
to PickAx, all of a sudden, you might have 100 followers, and you're getting 10 times as much engagement as you got on X, because those are people that actually follow you. You're actually building a community of people. And I think that's the fun part about all this.
And so for my audience, which is heavy, heavy politics, they don't know that I love to cook. They don't know me and my husband both love to cook, and we have fun cooking in the kitchen together. I mean, that's like a hobby for us, a pastime. We love to have people over and entertain and feed them and all this kind of stuff. It's, but they don't know that about me, because that's not what I talk about on social media. I'm here to do a job, crank, get, save the country, get conservatives in office, blah, 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 blah. But there's like a whole other world out there, and to me, it's nice because when I need to get away from that, I just shut the phone off. But what you're presenting is you can still have that, and you can get away with it, and you can have real engagement. People aren't just going to drop off, and the algorithm is going to just block you from seeing other content because they know you talk about politics. They're going to allow you to engage with a whole other world out there, which is what X has done. It shuts you off. It puts you in a silo. I'm losing like 3,000 followers, and then they're coming back. It's bizarre. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason there, except for the fact that it's the X algorithm and they call it bot cleaning or whatever. I think it's bullshit. I think they're just doing whatever they want to do because you said of name of a foreign country that you're not supposed to say. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's basically it. They shut my X space down twice the other night. Doug, that was who's in the chat right now, was I think he stayed through through the end, or almost to the end. But we got shut down twice before we finally got the space to cruise for a good 3 hours. It was ridiculous. But that's X, because you say the third rail and you're done.
Right.
So it's nice to know we have a platform that is out there. I think what you're doing, particularly with the articles, is freaking fantastic. And with Rumble, I think that's absolutely fantastic. So,
Yeah. No,
um, kudos.
I appreciate it. And I just think, it's fun for me having a space and having a platform that's not just 100% politics 100% of the time. And again,
Mhm.
there's still plenty of politics that are on there for sure, 100%. But also it's like I think when you're on these other platforms with the algorithms and the way that they're established is that they always the basically like the Instagram and the experts, they always say you need to niche down. You need to stay within your niche and focus because the algorithm likes your niche. And for us, we're like, without an algorithm, you kind of be free to do whatever you want. You don't get penalized by anything, right?
That's
And so
right.
like we've got everybody from people talking politics on both sides of the aisle to where we've got this one girl, Gigi. She's known as the salmon queen because she eats 12 pounds of salmon a week, and she's posting, all the different ways that she can cook salmon. And it's like she's one of the most entertaining people that you will ever talk to or ever
That's
see,
great.
but all she does is literally talk about salmon all day long, 24/7. It's like you get this wide variety of people, and again, we're multifaceted as human beings. Like
That's
for me, it's
right.
like I've been talking about politics and medical freedom for years and years and years, and it's like people
And what
don't
has
know
it
that, like,
gotten us, Jeff? What has it gotten us? They still
right,
have COVID shots out there, right? They're still putting
exactly.
RNA in everything.
Exactly. But also, like, most people don't realize, like, I'm really into rock and roll music. Like, I used to be a worship leader. A lot of people don't realize that, like, I play basketball very, very competitively. Like, I used to play basketball with, like, the same tournaments as, like, LeBron James and all these guys that are now retiring, which kind of makes me feel a little bit
You're
old.
very tall.
Yeah. But it's like I've got everybody has these different interests. Like you said, like you love to cook. A lot of people probably don't know that because it's like you're not incentivized to post that on social media. It's like,
No.
why can't we just start being human again? Like talk politics, but then also talk cooking, talk food, talk your favorite movie,
There
talk
you
about your
go.
favorite
Make
show.
being human great again. There's your tagline.
Exactly. Exactly. So,
Make being unique awesome.
yeah, so it's gonna be fun. So like coming up this summer, we're actually sponsoring. There's a Grammy award winning band called Switchfoot, and they put on an annual what they call a Bro-Am every year, and it's basically a surf contest in the morning on the beach, and then they do a concert in the afternoon. And so we're actually going to be one of the main sponsors for the event. So we're sponsoring the VIP pit and all the VIP tickets and all that kind of stuff. And so we're gonna have a booth and all that. But like one of the things that we're doing is we're getting a bunch of people together and let's
Mhm.
go hang out. We'll hang out on the beach. We'll go surfing. We'll rock out to a concert. And I believe, and they haven't confirmed the lineup, but Switchfoot's right now touring with Fuel and Lit, and so it's going to be a really cool concert that they'll have on the beach. And we're already getting a bunch of people that are going to come down and hang out at the booth. We're going to convert our booth into this kind of like lounge PickAx hangout spot and all that. So like we're getting a bunch of the OAN hosts. They're going to be coming down and hanging out with us. I believe George Papadopoulos and his wife are going to come down and hang out with us. And just
Oh,
like let's get down and like a bunch of people in politics, but it has nothing to do with politics. Let's just hang out and be people again and just hang out on the beach and
I
all that.
love
So
it.
so we're actually getting a lot of people flying in because they want to come hang out. And so it's gonna
What's
it's
the
gonna be
date?
it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sorry,
The date is when
June
is it?
13th.
June 13th. There it is.
Yeah.
June
So
13th.
yeah,
Beach Fest. I love it.
yeah.
Moonlight Beach.
You should come out to Communist California and we'll hang out on the beach.
I you know what? I'm trying to figure out if I can make it out there June 13th. I've got to check my schedule, but that looks like so much fun. Communist
Yeah.
California.
And the nice thing, it's like it's a free concert.
Yep.
On the beach, there's like 17,000 people that are show up every single year, and but
Yep.
but all the money and all the proceeds go towards like local organizations and homeless kids and teaching kids music and helping families or like it's a really cool fundraising thing. So we're gonna be doing a lot with Bro-Am in the future as well, as a platform too. So.
I love it. I love it. Pickaxe on the beach, Bro-Am, June 13th. Be there, be square. Get over to pickaxe.com. Check out Jeff's page, check out my page. I need to do better over there. I've been sort of listing on social media because I'm just so burnt out of just the keyboard warrior.
I know.
It seems unproductive at this point. We could be
Yeah,
doing more productive things. This is why we have foundations because we're actually doing stuff.
totally.
We're helping people now. And I don't talk about it enough. I should do more talking about what we're doing because it's actually positive. Social media gets very negative, and it's nice that we can go find other platforms where you can be positive again and you can be proud of who you are, not what you're trying to represent, which
Right.
is actually a whole lot more refreshing. So thank you so much, Jeff. You're incredible. I don't know how you do it, and a dad and a husband, and you're a godly man. You just kind of keep it all going on. You keep
Hey,
it all going on.
it's fun. I'm going on like 3 hours of sleep because you have a 3-year-old, and that life is life. Life happens, but it's you just keep plugging away.
That's awesome. Just absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you for your really enlightened conversation on artificial intelligence. We have a lot of work to do as a country to wrestle with that. Anybody who has AI data centers going in their backyard, fight like hell. Keep them out. They're going to devour your resources, and they don't provide but 20 to maybe 30 jobs in a monster-sized facility that takes up acres and acres and acres, devours your resources. And for what? What are we doing this for? This feels very COVID-esque. It's the latest emergency. We can't lose the AI race to China. Well, let's see here. We were doing fine before. Now all of a sudden we're going to lose a race to something. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jeff Dornik, you guys follow him over on PickAx.com/Jeff Dornik. He's on X at Jeff Dornik. Yeah, I've got your X page right here. Let me just put that up. Also, you can follow Jeff on here as well. Where are we? Here we go.
And you guys can download the PickAx app in both iOS and Google Play stores as well. So just makes it super easy.
Makes it super easy. That's just fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeff. I certainly appreciate you. Have a great day, and thanks for coming by as always.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, guys, that's a wrap. It's almost 3:00 here on the East Coast. Jeff Dornik, fantastic guy. He's out in Southern California. Wonderful husband, beautiful wife, beautiful child. And he's an incredible entrepreneur. This is somebody who I've known from the political arena now going on, gosh, I guess 6, 7 years. And he's been nothing but what you see is what you get. He and I have agreed. We've had slight disagreements, but it's never cantankerous. It's just how you're supposed to communicate with one another. And I applaud him for always, keeping open minds for everybody to have an opportunity to engage in conversation. And I believe that's what PickAx is about. So check it out. Go to pickaxe.com. I'm there /Ann Vandersteel. Follow me if you're on the platform. If not, hop on the platform, get on the platform, because there are other opportunities out there to communicate and expand your reach and actually get out of the political bubble. It's okay to get out of politics every now and then. It's such a cesspool in here anyway. You guys have a great Monday, and we'll catch you again on Wednesdays when I will be back. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Food security or food sovereignty. Every time we buy food, we choose. Glyphosate exposure is exploding, and people are asking, why is food so expensive? This is why we do what we do. Organic fields, thriving orchards, the purest ingredients straight from the earth. From our farms to your family, we do the testing so you don't have to. You save time, you save money, and our regenerative farms continue to grow. It's time to remove what does not belong. Rebuild with cleaner inputs. Support the farmers with the future in mind. This isn't a trend. It's a shift. We still have a voice. We still have a choice to vote with our dollars for a healthier America today. Tap the link.
Are you ready to take your health back? At Vandersteelhealth.com, I trust Purium's powerful superfoods to fuel my body with clean, plant-based nutrition. And in a world filled with toxins, Biomedic is designed to help support your body's natural detox process, even from glyphosate exposure. Real nutrition, targeted support, no junk. Go to Vandersteelhealth.com and take control of your health today.